break out and look at the kind of a trend thing. I'm looking at Bitcoin at first here. I'm going to get into currencies here, but I want to use, oops, there we go. I want to use this chart as an example. All right, so this is a pretty standard trending market, correct? This is Bitcoin. All right. Actually, yeah. And that's a pretty stable trend. And then what happens is we have this kind of movement. And then we have this kind of movement. All right. So if we were to see this, we have an uptrend followed by a steeper uptrend followed by an even steeper uptrend. That kind of move is called a parabolic rise. All right. Now, a parabolic rise is generally it means you have an uptrend in which the angles of ascent are increasing as the move matures. And so we have seen that here in Bitcoin. But generally, the easiest way is to see a number of supportive uptrend lines that are increasing in their slope. All right. Now, generally, if you have more than one powerful uptrend in an uptrend, like we had in Bitcoin, that we call that a parabolic move, and what that means is it is unsustainable. It means it is going way too far, way too fast, and it will not last. And the corrections from a parabolic move are often as violent and they are as volatile as the move up was. We can see this all over any market that when we have a parabolic move, we see a parabolic response. What happened here in Bitcoin? We got to this top on this parabolic move and we flushed nearly the entire retracement in what took us, let's see, the parabolic move started on the 12th of November. And so that took a total of 35 days we moved. How many days did it take for us to correct that move? 5. 5 days. It took us 35 days to go from 5,000 to 20,000. And then to essentially erase 50% of the value of Bitcoin, it only took us 5 days of movement from 20,000 to just above, in the middle of 10 and 11,000. So those kind of moves, while exciting if you're in them early or you get into them on a second move, they seem very fun and powerful, but they are quite dangerous. I mean, they're dangerous for two reasons. One is you will get caught holding a bag if you participate in a parabolic move. And two, parabolic moves are irrational. And I have become the victim of my own not following the phrase that the market can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent. So people who, if this was a shortable instrument, people who are trying to short on all these divergences were getting wrecked. It is difficult and dangerous to identify where the top is on a parabolic move, but it's not difficult to determine where it's at once it's hit it. Okay, so I want to drag that kind of analysis over to the euro. And I want to go back to where we started this move, which was last year, December 12th, 2017. We started this gentle rise, all right? And this rise is healthy in the euro. This is fine. It's been on this angle. But something happened on this year in January is we started to break away heavily from the norm. This trend line here, this one, if I color it like orange, this trend lines was broken and we had a massive move up, and now we've been in another kind of move and we've had another we've had success on the hourly charts. We've had successive rises at steeper levels. So what does this say? It says that we are very extended, that we are in my opinion, we are in a parabolic move. Even if you look at the daily here, and I totally forgot that I did this. I need to go back on the videos and figure out when did I draw this, because I know I haven't looked at this for a while. But if this is playing out, then that's kind of awesome. But then we should be nearing the end of this fifth leg up and start that deeper pull back down sometime here. Anyways, so if we look at this on the daily chart, we even see that on the daily chart where we've had this slow rise, kind of continuance here, but then we've had a number of swift moves up on the daily chart. And we are in way overbought conditions. So I am not looking to trade any chart right now that looks like this, because it is dangerous to go long and it is dangerous to go short. I need to wait for a correction. We all need to wait for a correction. Unfortunately, these are kind of the unfortunate trading times that we just kind of have to wait, but there's no sense in participating in these moves. But there is a strong confluence of time coming up here, and this is something I want to talk about a lot. That there are some huge items involving time right now. Okay, so I put this chart up last night. This is on Bitcoin, but it really applies to every market. I want it. What's it saying there? Oh well. Okay. And I want to bring this down to the hourly, because we're coming back to that. So before we get into the currencies again, this is for Bitcoin, but it also applies to currencies. So it's that time is the catalyst for every movement in the market. It's the catalyst for all political issues. It's the catalyst for all reactions to these time-based events. Everything is a slave to time. This is kind of a summary of my view of how Gann uses the markets, how he viewed the markets. That time was the ultimate factor, and that he had this uncanny ability to identify, when a reversal area was going to happen, and way ahead of time. And then he was not only able to forecast the price level, but he was able to kind of indicate not what the exact fundamental reason was, but he would just say something like, we should expect to hear something very bad coming out of Europe at this date. And then there was World War II was forming and starting. He predicted quite a large number of things. Excuse me. Anyways, so continuing on here, as I'm reading it, like there are rare events in the markets where you get a smashing of multiple time frames into a small area. These kind of confluent zones cause historic changes in the trend and movement of markets. Sometimes those confluent zones of time affect only the instrument. Sometimes, so the instrument would be, Bitcoin, the euro dollar, the dollar yen, the euro pound, or the general stock market, the DAX, the S&P 500, whatever those are. Sometimes those confluent zones in time affect only the sector. Sometimes they affect the entire market. Every hour from now, which is 6 p.m. last night to February 5th, is important. Every hour we get closer to February 5th, the higher the probabilities of violent and powerful moves will happen. And they're all related to time. And then I put up here that I was discussing these things. So on Bitcoin, let me drag this down. I'm going to put this in with the currencies as well. But so on Bitcoin, looking at this here, let's go to the daily. and I'll get some vertical lines here. Okay, so the first date that we want to pay attention to is right here. Okay, that is January 31st. So not only is that the end of the month, but that is a new cycle, a new cycle in the lunar cycle. So we get a full moon. And remember, a full moon means that if prices are at or near a swing low, then prices have a high chance of going up. All right, if they're already at a real high, then it's kind of a flat area. Things can still go up, but if you're at a market high at a full moon, um, sometimes you just float around that area for 2 weeks. Okay, but not it's a super moon on that date. Okay, it's a super moon on the 31st. The next date we want to look at is the 26th. Okay, so the 26th, that's this Friday. That's when the Chicago Mercantile Exchange futures contract for Bitcoin ends. Okay, that's really not relevant to everywhere else, but that's just relevant here. Next date is January 29th. Right there. That is the end of a major trade cycle for all cryptocurrencies in a 32-day cycle. It is actually the end and beginning of a major cycle for all regular Forex currencies. And because every foreign currency follows the same time cycle rhythm. There's one rhythm that they all seem to follow. Some are more sensitive to others, but for the most part, the 64-day cycle to a 90-day cycle are what they are the most sensitive to. But anyways, that on the 29th, that is the end and beginning of a new cycle. That happens right before the 31st, which is that new moon. So just keep an eye on that as well. In addition, this is more important for Bitcoin, but the 45-day to 49-day cycle. That Gann called that his death zone because it ended blow-off movements and caused major changes in trends. 45 days from the all-time high of Bitcoin on the 17th of December, 45 days from there is January 31st, the end of the month and the beginning of a full moon. All right, that is exactly 45 days. 49 days from there, from this high, 49 days from there is February 4th. And February 4th and 5th, those are specific calendar dates that Gann called out. He has some calendar dates that are extremely important, and especially if he called out specific dates, they are to be very, very important dates. So the 4th and 5th of February, those are that calendar date. That time is where markets usually achieve important highs or lows, and trends can reverse from that area. So that is on February 4th and 5th. So essentially, every hour we go from now until the 5th of February, we should see some type of consolidation at the current levels before there is a trend reversal. And the reversal is going to be fairly strong. And if not, but there is, it's like if I had to put it in percentages, the probabilities of trends reversing, in the next 9 days or so, are very high, like 90%. I'll say that. The odds that trends will continue are lower, 10%. But if trends do continue, which they can, that means we're looking at another 45 days of continuation of the movement before we end a 90-day cycle. Now, how does that relate to currencies? Forex. What did you do? Oh yeah, I drug it down there. Okay, so now we're looking at the euro. How does this apply to the euro? What are these dates that are important on our currencies? How many charts of foreign currencies do we have that are in these parabolic moves, up or down? The euro, the pound dollar, the New Zealand dollar. I've been burned by this guy this week. But don't revenge trade. I'm waiting for the signal to bring it down. The Aussie dollar, in some respects, I mean, it's still following that same structure. Um, that trade did work out a little bit, but not anymore. Aussie dollar. The how about this guy, the dollar yen, except it's got a different move. And then we have gold, which has decided to break out from that area. All right. Now, oh wow, gold is like crazy up there. Look at that here. Yep, yeah, it's way up there. We could see it hit some. You might want to test that 2014 high over there. We'll see. Okay, so gold is in that same kind of move. We can kind of check. I know this isn't the most accurate way to get the angle, but if this is a 52-degree move, the one that we've got going on here is fairly steep. 65. Yeah, that is really elevated. That is a very elevated move. Okay, so we have a lot of markets that are displaying this really extended move. How many? We can count the days. Yeah. Okay. 48, 49. From that swing low that we experienced in December, we are 45, 48 days from that zone. So we are in the death zone. That's what Gann called it. It's the end of blow-offs, blow-off tops and blow-off bottoms. So we are within that area. So we need to be very careful about where our money goes. Okay? The initial reaction when you have these moves is for price to it's gonna like fall down a little bit, and then the buyers will step back in only to have it fail, and then we'll have a general collapse. So be very cautious about these areas. Additionally, we have we have a lot of bias here looking at this long-term leg here of it ending soon. But in a parabolic move, things can go higher, man. They can really go higher. They can really shoot up more if they want to. Again, the markets can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent. We've had a lot of the entries on this. Hold on one second. I thought I heard some noise upstairs, but it was just my wife and the cat. Okay, so where was I at? Looking at the euro, where might things top off here? Well, we have generally nothing above us. Wait, where's my box on this thing? There we are. Okay. Oh yeah, so we are we are near a topping stopping zone. Actually, this is a pretty key area. This will be a key area to determine whether or not we go higher or we're going to correct here. We're at this Gann angle, we're slightly above it, but then in our Gann box, our 50% retracement zone in a Fibonacci is right above us. It's right at this 123.8. All right, that level is actually shared by a few other currencies. I know that just looking at the New Zealand dollar, which is the most accelerated mover to the top that we've had, it's got a shared angle, shared structure. This Fibonacci, this is a square in price and time. Okay, this is a big key reversal area. In fact, why don't I make a little why don't I just kind of give me a second here. I'm just going to copy everything. Oh, that is not it. Cool. Edit square. So when things are in price and time, oh, I gotta do category. I don't really care if it's public. It's just for me to reference to later. So when we have a confluence of time and price, Gann said that we would always find major activity a little bit before or after that area. So that's exactly what we're in right now. We have a squared area of time and price. So if prices break above and hold, then we can consider this move to be ignored and that the parabolic correction may not happen, even though they usually do. Otherwise, we can expect some falling prices because we are at this confluence of this angle in time and price. Same with the euro. We have the same situation. We have well extended on beyond that square without any type of honest price testing. And we are at that same area of not exactly a square in time, but it's the end of one of our time cycles, and we're at that 50% retracement zone. What is the pound doing? Well, it is just flailing up there too. I think I have. Well, I wonder about Gann box. I really don't have a Gann. Hold on. I bet I do. Okay. Let's go to Euro Pound. I do. Oh, yep. Copy, and then I can just go paste. Let's first off hide this, and we will paste Gann box. Cool. All right, now we have our. Yeah, I was looking at a different chart. See, that's pretty nice. It's got rejection at that angle. So the pound dollar pair also has had this parabolic move. You see me have drawn those angles there. We are coming to a. Let's go to the daily. So we are right there. I think I have these reversed. Yep, reverse it. There we go. So we have our 6-8 in time. We have our 25 quarter retracement zone on our um, uh, Fibonacci in the Gann square, and so we're right at this very key zone. Um, this ends on the 8th, but I mean it's well within that value area. Again, this guy's skyrocketed up here on the daily chart. That is a unhealthy move. We should expect to see some nice pullback on it. If we don't, then we should find another monstrous rise to the top here. If we break this 0.25, it will go up way higher. The parabolic move should correct only back down to the 0.25. So we'll keep an eye on that. Aussie dollar. Similar situation. We have it at this angle that it's been trying to get above and test, and if it can't break it, it will come down and try to find support at the next angle, which is over here. Again, though, this guy has had a large rise, and we're approaching its 50% retracement zone. The dollar yen. Talked yesterday that we would have. I didn't even put up that short, did I? Oh shoot, that was the one trade that would have worked out really great yesterday. The dollar yen short on our return to that 110 zone worked out great, and we're continuing to have some sell off here. We're continuing to have a breakdown in our dollar yen. Now, from that, we are also there's these 45-day zones ending all over every single market. It is kind of ridiculous. If I look at the SPY, this is the ETF of the S&P 500. This is what most investment portfolios are rated against. Well, I can hear my cat crying really loudly. One of the cats. He cries every time my wife leaves. You can probably hear him. I don't know if you can or not. This is a little. I do not like trading the regular equities, but yeah, never mind. The DXY, the dollar index, that has been hammered. We've had essentially in the dollar index, and this is kind of where a lot of the strength is coming from. From the beginning of the year of 2017 until now, we have just been in a straight down thrust. How long do those moves last? Because really, I should reflect more on the dollar index to get a gauge of how these, because the dollar index really plays a big role into how things move. So what's our longest leg here? This is a 255 day. You know what? I look at my notes. I believe the 255 day cycle is a 240 day cycle. It's like the 120 tends to be a low or high if the market is trending. Wait, no. Let's see. 240 days. That's crazy. All right. So from the swing that started that move in Gann's, he says 240 day cycle. It's like the 120 tends to be a low if the market is trending up. Both the 120 and the 240 are considered with the trend, but that 270, which I bet that's around there. It could start a 90-day cycle, which would end a year cycle. Very high probability that a 45 or 90-degree cycle will end the 1-year cycle. So we're not really in that cycle. because we were up here. But let's see. So that's a 25% move. That's the largest move. And what kind of a move is this? $12.75. Well, actually, let's 13. Those are some of the biggest moves ever in recent years. Yeah. Hard to gauge, and we could go swing by swing, but anyways, the dollar index, it's really kind of, it appears to have a little bit of natural supportive area here. Not really though. It's just it has nothing below it. There's nothing stopping this guy from going. The oscillators are really oversold, but there's nothing really to see this guy returning up anytime soon, unless we get to these key dates, which would the time catalyst is the only one, and so the time factor states that this thing should reverse, but we have to wait. Now, looking at gold, similar move. If we've started that next leg in the parabolic move, things should move higher yet and still. But as we get to the end of the week here, probably starting tomorrow and Friday, we should see some peel off from these areas tomorrow afternoonish to Friday. These are pretty accelerated moves. This volume that keeps increasing the higher we go is pretty dangerous. New Zealand dollar is way bought up there. Same with the pound dollar. It's showing now. I'll say that out of anything, the pound dollar is the thing that moves the swiftest and the most like responds. This pair responds heavily. It doesn't really check to see if you're ready to confirm a move. It'll just start doing it. It's kind of a fun one. I'm not a big pound dollar trader, but yeah, the dollar yen keeps continuing to get pushed lower here. There's going to be a pullback again in a few days, so I am holding off on any trades on foreign currencies today. I'm not looking to participate yet. We might have something tomorrow. We probably will have something tomorrow and Friday, but there is just not. If I'm not going to participate, I'm certainly not going to find a trade for you to participate in. I think that's just dangerous. That. Yeah, no, not touching. We do have other currencies we could look at, but a lot of them are going to be really affected by that dollar's pushing everything in a certain direction. Now this is interesting. This is the excuse me, pound yen. That is a little not really. Pound New Zealand dollar. No. Gosh, this guy. All over the place. All right. Okay. Yep. Nothing really to do until we see some normalcy return to these moves. Parabolic markets are not something anybody should touch. So I'm not going to touch them. I was touching them, but I'm not touching them. I'm human. I make mistakes. Okay, so what do we have to probably have a little bit of opportunity for trading? And that's really, we're looking at the Bitcoin and crypto markets here. Now, something that is pretty nice to see. Oh, geez, what am I doing? is that we are off that 10,000 value area, and we are actually kind of pushing up a little bit, but we still really need to break higher. We really need to break above. I have a better chart here. We really need to break above the 13,330 area. We really need to break above that to get a nice double, not double, but we really need to see a break and a hold above here. Now, what is bullish about this? This is the 12-hour chart. Now, what is great about this is that we have this test of the 10,000 area, which was rejected lower and bought up. And then we have that same formation right here. So we kind of have a double bottom in structure on these candlesticks. That's very nice to see. We really need to see it. This trend line here. We really need to get. There's a few steps we have to make. So not only this is our long-term area that we want to get above, but we also need to kind of trade above 11.5. We need to get back above this trend line, trade above 11.5 to have any type of bullish momentum here. So, we do have a nice trade setting up, entering into long at 11,600 or on a deep move down to the 7,000 area. All right. I remember talking with you about the bias for that move down, which still could happen, and it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world either. We would like to see lower prices as we get closer to these dates. And we may get that. It may just want to follow this slowly down to here until we get to around the 10,000 area before we have all that buying. But if we can break through this angle, that's bullish. That's very bullish. We can get through it. But we notice that we keep getting sold off at every area we get on this channel. We just keep getting some selling pressure. We want that to stop. We really want that to reverse, because right now it's just continuing its downtrend. So be careful. But I mean, we are testing this level. The frequency of the test is getting bigger. This trend line right here, we actually did break up and we're still above. So that is good. Litecoin. Oh man, I love that we are finally out of this muck. This arc that we were trading in, we are finally out of it. We are trending up. We're going to get some natural resistance at that 187.5. But once we finally do get there, we should have a nice path up towards 250 and beyond. Could we still enter the channel? Yeah. I was saying that we could go as low as $60 on Litecoin. We could really dip farther below. But as long as we're outside the arc, notice if we look in on the hourly here, notice that as we've tried to test this arc, it has been bought. We've had a lot of supportive wicks here on these buying levels. 179.69 is, I love watching prices close right on that level. It's just the coolest. But we should see supportive move still. If not, we're going to big old dump down until the time cycles kick in. Ethereum is the one that is least at risk for how far it'll go down. It could only go down to 750. That's the area I'm looking at as the farthest move down. But it has the most potential for upside momentum, and it has the least resistance to get back to its all-time high and higher. Ethereum is a good blockchain. It's a good currency. It is probably more, well, not probably, it is way more efficient than Bitcoin. It's just a better uh, growth coin right now in the majors. It's the second highest market. It's the second most important coin after Bitcoin. And so we should keep looking at it to be a big mover and a leader in the majors. So look for this guy to keep moving up, get some natural resistance at the 1100 area, but really not. This guy will lead the pack. Ethereum should lead the pack up and out. I also want to point this out. Bitcoin futures. So the contract that ends this week is right here, $11,310. So that's what the people who are holding the holding the contract. This is trading at a premium to the spot price right now. $11,310. That is $300 more than what we are currently at. Never mind. No, we're not. I was looking at that funky contract up there. I don't know what I was looking at, honestly. It's not trading at a premium at all. It was trading at a premium last night at the close of the regular markets. It was trading $300 above. And that June contract that I had listed down there, sorry, I'm making more moves because my chair is just not in the greatest spot. Here we go. So it's important to see sometimes, go back and check your futures contracts. You know, the futures contract that ends in June is the M contract. That's trading at 7.25% higher than its open, which is a good sign. And yeah, there's a lot more trading opportunities with these pairs. Ethereum, pullback. Long it pullback towards 1,000. Yeah, that's fine. And Litecoin, if you want to get long, we're looking to go long probably at 191. I think that's where I have my. Now, if we look at like all the other coins in the market, all the altcoins, we can see that there is a lot of activity in them now. They're not all just selling off. What is nice to see is the coins that are down. It doesn't mean that the big guys are down. That means that there's a flight of capital. Now, we should probably finally see the end of the weakness in the cryptosphere sector and money coming back into it. So people are rotating their capital out of the altcoin markets and back into Bitcoin and Ethereum and to some degree Litecoin. So that is good. That is healthy. That is fantastic. We should be happy about that and look forward to some more opportunities in cryptos. Going over the Forex stuff one more time. Looking at gold on the hourly, a little sell-off up there. The euro, sell-off on that trend angle. We'll see if that holds. We're getting the largest hourly bar so far. A lot of volume on this hourly bar, and we still have, right? That's current. Yeah. Wow, this hourly bar is greater than all the volume for, going back to the 19th. And we are only, is that, no, dang it. I knew there was something up with that. Never mind. I thought we were looking, oh man, my eyes. Oh, I am failing you all this week and myself. Anyways, Getting some natural resistance at that 50 level. And let's see, are we seeing that anywhere else? The New Zealand, same kind of issue, maybe a little bit, although it looks like it wants to be on cocaine even longer. Pound dollar is trying to inch up there. You see these elevated tops with this volume spiking like that, that's usually generally a sign of prices coming down. The Aussie dollar may lead the pack in that respect on that move. We'll see though. And then the dollar yen, man, it's getting, there's a lot of buying down here. Value area is still up here, but we are getting a bit of participation down here. Lots of spikes in volume. That's good to see if you want to be bullish on that. The euro pound. All right, now this might be the okay. I'll go ahead and I like that trade. Oh God, stop. Yeah, that's a good. We have it's already formed, a pivot candlestick, which is a good sign. So a pivot candlestick means that these are all great buying conditions on here. Pivot candlestick, again, if the middle candlestick on the bottom here, if we want to have a bullish pivot, means that the candlestick on the outside of it, they're going to have higher lows and higher highs than the one in the middle. All right, so this, and with that volume bar, this is a good bullish sign for a short-term trade. I did put that alert in there, long at 87.26 and a stop at 87, which is down here. It's at these confluence of these angles. So there is a good setup forming for a short-term trade on this pair. The only thing that's going to be difficult to read is how much stronger is the euro going to be compared to the pound on any corrective move. So we'll have to see. Look, already the pound dollar looking a little top heavy up there. Same with the New Zealand euro dollar, similar situation. Gold not caring. But yeah, sorry, it's a little over the general time here with you guys, but just keep an eye on these markets. Keep an eye on these large moves to the top. We could see today nice pull back and then it being bought up again before another move down. So just be aware. If I notice anything like that, I will do my best to remember to throw it in the signals, and I'll be very diligent about that today. If I notice any move that would signal a good a time to get in, I'll put that in there, because we can sometimes see movements after the New York Open and after the EU session ends. So, anyways, trade well, excuse me, trade smart, and we will see you guys tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.